solutions. I'm your host, Jean Newell with Waterview Realty. And with me in the studios today is my co-host, Jonathan Lack. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Jean. I'm glad to be back and looking forward to a great show.
Yes, we have an exciting guest on with us, which we'll bring on in just a moment. And we want to talk a little bit about the community services and some of the things that are provided that perhaps our audience doesn't know about. And one of the things that you do, Jonathan, and I want to tell everybody again what hats you wear in the county. And actually the South Brevard and South Broward. I'm getting everything confused. You're in South Broward as well as in Brevard County and Dade County. You handle real estate. You're a real estate attorney. You handle the real estate law in Dade and Broward County, West Palm Beach, as well as Brevard. And also you're the owner and broker of Waterview Realty and Waterview Title. So I always say you wear three hats, and we're always happy to have you on the show because you can talk real estate forwards and backwards.
Well, again, thank you, Jean. And I think what you were trying to say is I handle the South Florida area, which is Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, but the South Florida area as well as Brevard County, and really all of the state of Florida. Those are my areas of specialty. And yes, I like to think that if you have a real estate question of any sort, whether it's buying, selling, transactional related, distressed property, which is what we'll be talking about in a moment, I am a go-to resource for you.
Exactly. I'm from South Florida as well as you are, Jonathan. And I know when I first moved here, when we used to type contracts, that's the old days, Broward County and Brevard County are so close in when you're typing that I think a lot of contracts say Broward County on them when they were supposed to say Brevard, because the old typing, I'd have to go back and exit out because that is pretty close in spelling. And we've been up here. I've been up here for 30-some years in the Brevard County area and really love it. But we do provide a lot of service for people out there that are interested in either saving their home, selling their home, buying another home, maybe adding people to their titles, all kinds of services. So one of the things we want to talk about just for a couple minutes, because it does tie in with our guest today, Jonathan, you do a lot of volunteer work in the community, and one of the things that you speak on, and you do presentations, and you're the advisor in this county as well as several others, is the Hardest Hit program. And the Hardest Hit program is a wonderful program provided by the state money, and it has a lot of different arms to it. But let's talk a little bit about the Hardest Hit program and what kinds of things that can provide for our community.
All right, great. Thank you, Jean. The Florida Hardest Hit program is actually a federally funded state program. So it's run by the state of Florida, and it is designed to assist homeowners who are unemployed or underemployed through no fault of their own. It came out under the umbrella of the programs under the Obama Making Home Affordable programs, and Florida Hardest Hit is one of those. However, while several of the other programs have sunset and no longer available, the Hardest Hit program actually got extended through 2021. So we still have 4 or 5 more years of the availability of this program, at least so long as the funding is in place. The program assists homeowners with their mortgage payment if they've lost their job. So if you're unemployed, having lost your job, or underemployed, where you've taken a 10% reduction in your pay at any time since the inception of your mortgage till now, the state of Florida will assist you with making your mortgage payment. Now, there are criteria that have to be accounted for before you will be found eligible, but the program, the state of Florida, will actually pay your mortgage for you if you are unemployed or underemployed and you otherwise qualify.
That's so important, because if you are trying to get assistance and trying to find a job and you've gotten behind on your mortgage payments, this program will help pay any mortgage payments in the arrears and get you up to date, as well as assist you in the future if you still are unemployed and you need help. A lot of people are not aware of that, and that's just one of the many services that people don't know, but they learn about it at our different community service organizations. And saying that, this is how I'm going to segue into our guest. We have a special guest on the line with us today. It is Bill Oakley, and he is president and CEO of Goodwill Industries of Central Florida. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Jean.
And one of the things that you provide there at Goodwill is all about the job market. Would you tell us a little bit about the job market in Central Florida? And is Central Florida your umbrella? Does that include Brevard County, or is that just the Orlando area?
No, it does include Brevard County, and of course, the Hardest Hit program and Jonathan Lack have been presenters at our West Melbourne Job Connection Center, co-located with our Goodwill retail store. To answer your question, Goodwill Industries, first of all, is a confederation. We have a national brand, but we're in fact a network of independent organizations. So Goodwill Industries of Central Florida is an Orlando headquartered, Florida-based corporation, more than 50 years old, with active services in Orange, Seminole, Osceola, Lake Volusia, and Brevard counties.
Well, that's wonderful. A lot of people don't realize that it's not just a resale store where they can go in or drop off their donations. You actually provide a lot of services for the job market. One of the things I'd like you to discuss is amid the job growth here in the area, who is getting left behind?
You know, the workforce is changing, and while the job market is strong in many respects, and while qualified job seekers with good skills can almost have a broad selection of jobs to accept, for people who have not had much formal education, particularly for those individuals who may lack a high school diploma or who may have a high school diploma but have not continued with credentialed learning for special skills, it can be tough out there to find and hold a job. And our concern at Goodwill is that as time progresses, those jobs are going to be harder and harder to find because of the changes in technology and what's happening as we engineer jobs like bank teller, cashier, and as we all read now about changes in cars that are driverless, even vehicle operations. So as those kinds of jobs go away, it's going to be vitally important for the people that we serve and for any job seeker who really wants a career to make a commitment to lifelong learning and to ensure that you have both the basic credentials and are willing to creatively apply the skills that you have and build new ones to continue to be desirable to employers on a career-oriented basis.
All right, that's wonderful, Bill. And I do know that Goodwill Industries provides a lot of education and training. Could you tell a little about some of the education and training available to assist these people that you're speaking to so that they can, in fact, proceed to find a new career or a career at all?
Well, first and foremost, one of the cornerstone services that we offer at Goodwill we call JobWorks 101, and it is simply an employability skills workshop because getting a job often is a job. And so making sure that your resume is professional and up to date, making sure that you know how to handle the tough questions you may expect to hear in a job interview, being properly groomed, and being able to look prospective interviewers or prospective employers in the eye are all important things. And so we actually have classes on that to show people, to help people prepare. Additionally, when you participate in a class like that, you meet other job seekers, and often that forms a basis of mutual support because job seekers are going to hear more no's than yeses. They're only going to hear one yes, and they may hear tens or dozens or even hundreds of no's before they land that job, and that can really be taxing on a person's self-confidence. And so when you are going through that experience with other people experiencing it too, you can lift each other up, and being confident when you meet a prospective employer is important. In addition, we have computer classes where we teach people basic computer operation. We offer, in conjunction with the Brevard School Department, general equivalency diploma classes, GED classes. We have, for some people, particularly those people involved with disability, more intensive vocational services. We work with the Veterans Initiative, which is housed in our West Melbourne Job Connection Center, and we also offer for those people, as they're in the search process, access to entitlement programs such as SNAP assistance and as well as PCAN healthcare navigation.
You brought up disability, and I don't mean to digress, but going back to the hardest hit program, I had opened with that it was for the unemployed or underemployed. But one of the areas that they've opened and expanded the coverage of the program for eligibility is the area of disability. So if you've lost your job because of a disability, then that would also qualify you for the hardest hit program. So just wanted to put that out there when you'd mentioned that word. And I also real quickly want to put out there, to get more information on the hardest hit program, you go to flhardesthithelp.org. That's FL as in Florida, hardesthithelp.org. And that's where you can get more information about the program. The other thing you had said, Bill, that I wanted to comment on, because when I've been in the job hiring mode, the first thing I eliminate applicants is typos and errors in a resume. So what you say is absolutely true. When I get a resume and I see a typo in it, that person will not be getting hired. So do proofread your resumes for those of you who are listening to this program.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think what many job seekers often don't appreciate is that getting a job is very similar to a horse race, and you don't have to be the fastest horse. You just have to be faster than all the other horses running. And so it's things like typos in resumes or grammatical errors are absolute killers in seeking employment.
Yeah. And then the other thing you brought up was the camaraderie or the community of the job seekers. I would put out there that this networking is very valuable, getting to talk to other people and know other people, because you never know who's going to know somebody who has a job available for you. And networking, and even if that networking is taking place at your job training classes, that type of networking is a wonderful way to expand your opportunities.
Yes, certainly technology is playing a much more enhanced role in the job search process, but few things can supplant the value of a strong network.
Does Goodwill Industries have a website or other job posting board or thing of that nature?
We do. For people who come to our center, we keep an active posting of available jobs that we know about in the community, and our job center managers are expected to keep up on those sorts of things. And then at goodwillcfl.org, there is a lot of information both about job opportunities at Goodwill, as well as all of the wide range of services we offer at all 10 of our Job Connection centers across Central Florida. So we encourage people to use that resource, among others. Also, not to overlook that Goodwill employs 1,137 people in Central Florida, and we have vacancies on our team regularly and are always looking for people who may have an interest in the kind of work that we do at Goodwill, whether it's in our thrift stores or in our services.
What other services does Goodwill Industries offer? I'm familiar with the thrift stores and such, and have dropped off many a bag of clothing when I've done clothing drives for the kids or things of that nature. Are there other resources such as that, or tell us a little bit more about Goodwill Industries? Well,
I think first thing that I like to emphasize is that we are very highly collaborative. And so we work, hence our relationship with the Brevard School Department, to make people, to exploit existing services so that we don't duplicate things. And we use a lot of our bricks and mortar assets to house and host a wide range of other organizations who can be supportive to people who need us most. And I think that's a very important issue. We develop programs in response and in relationship to local need. For example, in Orange County, and we celebrated today a high school graduation for a collaborative program we have with the Orange County Public School System as an alternative high school center. And so we have a school with a capacity of 45 students, and we celebrated the graduation of 10 of those students with Orange County Public School diplomas today. We're very proud of that. We do youth mentoring also in Orange County. We do job placement for special populations. We do job placement for people coming out of the foster care system. We are very concerned all across Central Florida with the issue of homelessness. It has been challenging for all of us across, certainly across our region, and I believe across the state and the country. But one of the things that we have recently started, and it's a multi-county service that we're offering, is Good Source Staffing Services Incorporated. Good Source Staffing Services is a temporary staffing organization dedicated to creating opportunities for people who are homeless. And in the last 2 years, we have helped more than 350 people find temporary placement, many of which, 60 of which, have led to more traditional employment relationships. And in the meantime, as we talk across the country about the strategy of rapid rehousing, we are practicing through Good Source Staffing Services rapid reemployment, helping people find and go to work as quickly as 48 hours if they're compliant.
What, if anything, are you seeing with the current job market? Do you see that it's improving, or is it still in its distressed state, or is it maybe getting worse? Where do you see the trends going?
We see it as improving. I think in Central Florida, the last statistic I saw is that we're creating 1,000 new jobs a week.
Wow.
So I think that the opportunities, I think we've seen a sharp change. 7 years ago, we were experiencing 11% unemployment. Now, in most areas of Central Florida, we're sub 5, but I do think that there is a continuing skills gap as employers seek more and more skilled employees. Are finding many of those jobs harder and harder to fill, which is another reason why it's so important for job seekers to examine their commitment to their personal development and skills development, and to recommit and double down on efforts to get those credentials and engage in that lifelong learning.
Right. And circling back for just a moment to the Hardest Hit program, for those out there who may have, be among the newly employed, the program does provide a reinstatement for those who have missed mortgage payments. So what happens a lot of times is somebody loses their job and they stop making their mortgage payment, and they're not familiar with the Florida Hardest Hit Fund, so they don't get the assistance they need. Then they get a job and they're listening to the show right now and realize, wow, I wish I had known about that when I was unemployed, but now that I'm employed, this can't help me. Well, if you had fallen in arrears, if you had missed 3, 4, 5, 6 payments before you got employed, part of the program reinstates. It makes the payments you've missed during that period of unemployment. So even if you're newly employed, if you had fallen into a hole as a result of your unemployment, the Florida Hardest Hit Fund program can assist you in that as well.
And you've been listening to Bill Oakley. He is the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries of Central Florida, as well as Jonathan Lack, who is the broker owner of Waterview Realty Services, as well as Waterview Title, and Lack & Lack attorneys services, Lack & Lack Services. He's a real estate attorney, can help you on all your real estate needs. And we wanted to just touch base a little bit about how we can help as an industry here, a real estate industry. Sometimes we get calls from people who say, I want you to come out and sell my house because I've lost my job and I can't make the payments. And we go out there and we actually turn around a lot of we solve a little bit of an issue there or a problem, because we're there to assist them, and we tell them about the various services that Hardest Hit has and Goodwill and so forth, and we don't necessarily get that listing, but you know what? It's not always about having listings in real estate. It's about serving our community, and that's why we like to have people on the show that have organizations that have a lot of information that perhaps we just don't know about. I wanted to find out from you, Bill Oakley, if you have a job fair or anything coming up in the near future, and you do provide job fairs, and you partner with a lot of other industries as well.
Yeah, we actually had a job fair on May the 3rd in conjunction with Kaiser, and we regularly have job fairs. And if our listeners will go to Goodwill CFL for centralflorida.org or stop by or visit our center or call at 321-953-8188, they can always find about the information about the next upcoming job fairs. We offer a lot of fairs that are employer specific. So we'll have an employer that'll mention that they're looking for a particular group of people, and they will come in and use our center for recruiting, and those kind of pop up. So you have to stay tuned to when those things occur by checking in with us.
And I do know my assistant, Kim, from the Lack and Lack Charter, but on behalf of the Florida Hardest Hit Fund, have attended your job fairs to make people who are obviously looking for employment be aware of this program out there for the unemployed. And they've always been very well-conducted affairs, and Goodwill is doing an excellent job for the community to provide these services. So I wanted to give a shout-out to Goodwill for doing a great job for our community in that regard.
Well, and we see so many people who are one step away from homelessness that a program like yours, Jonathan, can make such a difference in keeping people in their house. You know, for so many, we know when it comes to homeless services that most of the problems emanate from just not having a roof over your head. We sometimes think of people who are homeless having a lot of other challenges, barriers, and characteristics, but generally it all starts when someone goes from having a roof over their head to being out of doors, and so programs like Hardest Hit can make a huge impact in keeping people in a much more functional environment.
Jonathan, give out that Hardest Hit website again, because that is so important to know. There's a couple different arms to that. There's a buy-down program on your principal buy-down if you're actually paying more on your mortgage than your house is worth. You've got the assistance for your mortgage payments. So there's a couple different avenues that we might be able to assist you with.
Right. Well, you can always get any information by following the link on our website of lacklaw.com. That's LACKLAW.com. But if you want to go directly to the Florida Hardest Hit website, operated by the state of Florida, or the Florida Housing Finance Corporation is the state financing agency. It's flhardesthithelp.org. That's FL as in Florida, hardesthithelp.org, O-R-G. And if you do apply for the program, one thing I want to point out, it is a free program. It's a state-run government program. There is no cost to apply, and so it is a free-to-apply program. If you chose to apply, there's a place for a referral code, which is to be assigned to Lack and Lack Chartered as your advisors. The code would be 69032. And if you put in that code, you would be assigned to our office, and we'll be happy to assist. Of course, even if you didn't put in the code, if you have any questions, you're always welcome to give me a call. John Lack at Lack and Lack Chartered, area code 321-953-5115.
Bill, we have about 6.5 minutes left of the show, and we wanted to find out how can our community, whether it's in Orange County or Volusia or Brevard, how can the counties support these job seekers? What can we do to support Goodwill and their services?
Well, three things I want to emphasize. First, as is true with the Hardest Hit program, virtually all of our services at Goodwill are offered without charge. So whether it's employability skills workshops, computer classes, GED classes, there are our vocational services or our Veterans Initiative. Those programs are offered without any cost. I think two things that are important for job seekers. One is that many of our job seekers have non-work skill related barriers, whether it involves housing, such as the Hardest Hit program can help address, or food and immediate food challenge, transportation, child care, or health care. All of those things can be significant obstacles to effective job search. So we generally do not support those particular people with those particular needs. We rely on other programs like Hardest Hit and others to have those services. So we rely very heavily on a wide array of services to make a real difference in the quality of life for every person who might need us. And of course, the other thing I'd like to point out is that it is the generosity of and the exceptional generosity that we enjoy in Central Florida when people go to their closets and take things they need no more to their nearest donation express or retail store that allows us, through converting those things into financial resources, to be able to operate our job connection centers and other services without charge. So the support of the community through that particular mechanism is very important to us, and indeed it is where the great majority of Goodwill's support comes from.
And any big ticket items, big furniture or cars or anything like that, do you have a pickup service that can allow those people to donate the larger items?
We generally rely on our Donation Express as the receiving point for most things. With some exceptions, we will visit a person's home, particularly if there's a, for example, if someone's cleaning out an entire home or something, we will make arrangements for that. We do not currently have a program for titled property, although many Goodwills do, because Goodwill is a network of independent organizations. Many Goodwills do accept automobiles, but we, however, are not accepting titled property at this time.
All right. Give out your information one more time of how people can get in touch with the Central Florida Goodwill industry, and any other information that you think would be pertinent for people out there that might know of someone that is out of work, or maybe they just got noticed themselves and they are looking to find some sources to start. And also, I wanted to find out, before you give that out, are you seeking volunteers, people that might be would be a good teacher to show people how to use a computer, or maybe someone that likes to do makeovers or something that they would volunteer to do some seminars? Are you looking for those type of people to help out?
We do have a robust volunteer program, and if prospective volunteers will use the information I'm about to share, we would be delighted to match them up with a volunteer opportunity. Our principal Job Connection Center in Brevard County is at 2245 Coastal Lane. That is just on the south side of 192 at the Interstate 95 intersection on the Melbourne side. And its hours are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, with extended hours Tuesday and Thursday until 6. The phone number for the Job Connection Center is area code 321-953-8188. And job seekers and anyone interested in learning more about Goodwill can go to the World Wide Web at goodwillcfl for centralflorida.org. Where all of our locations are detailed, where many of our services, including some virtual services, are detailed, and you can learn about everything from the history to tomorrow's schedule at our West Melbourne Job Connection Center.
How long has Goodwill been in servicing the communities?
Goodwill Industries in Central Florida was started in 1959 by a Sertoma Club in Orlando. The original Goodwill Industries, the Morgan Memorial Goodwill Industries in Boston, was established by a Methodist pastor, Dr. Edgar James Helms, in 1902.
There you go, a little history on that.
That's great. I mean, so we've got 115 years of service to the community, and it's excellent service. Again, these are services that are available to you for free, and they provide much-needed assistance at a time when people are in distress. So, again, great job, Bill, and Goodwill Industries for supporting our communities the way you do.
Thank you, Jonathan.
And, Bill, do you have a Facebook, anything that you'd like people to go in and sign up for or like, so they can be part of your information as you send it out, maybe monthly, or do you have any kind of a newsletter or anything like that that people can sign up for?
We do have, when people make gifts to Goodwill, we enroll them in our database, and people periodically can receive, if they choose to, information about Goodwill. We do have a Facebook page, and if you will seek at Goodwill CFL on Facebook, you'll find our page and can certainly like us there and get current information about activities in Goodwill.
We really appreciate you calling in on your busy schedule today, and it's a great service that you provide to all the different counties. How many counties did you say you're involved with? Is it 6?
6, that's correct.
And that takes care of all of Central Florida. And, of course, we have listeners all over the country, but we just want to make sure people realize there are more services available at Goodwill than you might have expected. I like to watch your commercials, and I see the commercial with the lamp that comes in as a donation and how the lamp becomes part of, the process of the person that has a job there, and that, they track this lamp through your whole system. And it's a great commercial, and we really appreciate you coming on and giving us all that great information. Thank you,
Thank you
Bill
so much.
Oakley from Goodwill. Thank you, Jonathan Lack, for joining me again today as a co-host and talking about the Hardest Hit program and all those special services that the state of Florida provides that a lot of people don't know. There's money available to help you make your mortgage payment. Jonathan, would you like to close with any great information? How about your phone number?
All right. Well, we can be reached at 321-953-5115.
Thanks, Jonathan. Bye-bye now.